Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the special council meeting. Moved by Councillor McPherson, seconded by Councillor Frost. Be it resolved that the Township of Greater Madawaska calls to order the August 26, 2022 special council meeting at 1 p.m. All in favor? Carried. Any additions, deletions? And moved by Councillor McPherson, seconded by Councillor Frost. Be it resolved that the agenda of the special council meeting of August 26 be approved as presented. All in favor? Carried. Any declaration of pecuniary interest? Seeing none. Finance and Administration, proposal of Federal Electoral Boundaries Commission. Allison.
So the document in the agenda was sent to the mayor earlier this week, which essentially is proposing a change to the electoral boundaries, which would affect Greater Madawaska. Currently, we are included in Renfrew, Nipissing, Pembroke. Under the proposal, we would move to a newly named electoral boundary of Lanark-Frontenac. We are the only township that's being removed from Renfrew County. There could be a challenge with this if our electoral boundaries do not reflect that of the county. So if in the event there is a motion before county council and there's a request to everyone to reach out to the MP or the MPP, Greater Madawaska would be reaching out to an elected representative that has no interest in what occurs in Renfrew County. So I think there could result in some misrepresentation. Further to this, we can comment or submit a request to comment. This must be done by the 25th of September. There's a motion that Mayor Hunt will read. Request, as part of it, it's requesting that it be sent to the County of Renfrew as well as to all the municipalities in the County of Renfrew. I think we should be preparing a document to oppose what's being proposed. And if you do look in the attached document, on page 42, it demonstrates what the electoral boundaries are today. And on page 43, it demonstrates what is being proposed. So there's a further map that outlines this. I believe it's on page 110, or I can follow up. It's not 110, but there's another map within the document that demonstrates this as well. The purpose of this document is to have the electoral districts have similar population so that everyone is close to 115,000. The changes are minimal. That would be for Renfrew County. It's an increase of 9,000. So I don't know if it's worth it when it's going to jeopardize us. There could be other ways of doing this, I believe. So as I mentioned, there is a proposal, or there is a motion that before Mayor Hunt, and we have reached out to Cheryl Gallant to schedule a meeting to see what we should be doing to prepare for a submission.
I guess, and further that, just to elaborate on Allison's point, quite often at county council, we're asked to reach out to our MP or MPP, and our feeling is that the provincial boundaries will follow that of the federal. They always have in the past, and I feel they will again. Our local MP and MPP, who is part of Renfrew Nipissing, is very familiar with Renfrew County. With us being part of Lanark-Frontenac, that MPP and MP, certainly do a very good job, but their familiarity will be with the county that they represent 99 or 98% of the people for. So if I, or if the mayor of the township has to reach out and try to convince them to fight for something for Renfrew County, it might be in contradiction to what they're fighting for in Lanark and others. So I see it as being a problem, and we're reaching out. They're not going to have the familiarity with the concerns of Renfrew County that we're being asked to fight for. So I see this as very disconcerting and afraid, like, where will this lead? So we do it to federal. And, we certainly wouldn't be able to put this forth in our opposition to it federally, but the province will follow. And then if you look at the map and you see Greater Madawaska off by itself, and it's voting in Lanark federally, it's voting in Lanark provincially, and then the natural thing is to look at this little chunk of land and say, well, why would that not be part of Lanark? Because they do everything else there. And that isn't good for us, because we do, as Allison has put into the resolution, we shop, we meet family, we go to the doctor. All that is done within Renfrew County, not within Lanark that is so far away. I'm not sure where the MP's constituency office is, but John Jordan, the newly elected MPP, it's in Smith Falls. Well, if you're traveling from Griffith or Madawaska, that's got to be at least a 2-hour drive. So a meeting with on getting assistance on some point is good, better part of a day. 2 hours down, you have your meeting, and by the time you get back, you've almost spent a day dealing with an item. So I hope this doesn't go through, that we're able to stop it. I think my feeling is, and I hope council shares it, is that it's something that we have to strongly oppose. So I'll read the resolution as presented, and then I'll open it up to council for any questions. Moved by Councillor McPherson, seconded by Councillor Frost. Be it resolved that whereas the Electoral Boundaries Readjustment Act sets out the Commission's mandate and rules to be applied with redrawing boundaries, and whereas the legislation mandates that each electoral district shall, as close as reasonably possible, correspond to the provincial electoral quota. And whereas the Federal Electoral Boundaries Commission for Ontario has proposed a new electoral map for consideration at public hearings this fall, and whereas the proposal of the Federal Electoral Boundaries Commission for the province of Ontario removes the entirety of the Township of Greater Madawaska from the Renfrew-Nipissing-Pembroke electoral district and moves it to the electoral district of Lanark-Frontenac, which is known today as Lanark-Frontenac-Kingston. And whereas the electors primarily conduct their business, social circles, and family gatherings within Renfrew-Nipissing-Pembroke electoral district, and under the boundary proposal would require additional travel time to meet with the MP or MPP. And whereas the boundary proposal, if approved, could lead to a political division within the county of Renfrew when a motion is before council requesting all members reach out to the MP or MPP. And whereas the Township of Greater Madawaska has developed as strong working relationships with both MP and MPP of Renfrew-Nipissing-Pembroke, along with various agencies and municipalities, which itself is challenging in rural Eastern Ontario. And whereas the current boundary district for Renfrew-Nipissing-Pembroke is negative 7.87%, and the proposal boundary district is negative 0.27%. The actual fact is the population deviation is a mere 9,480 people. And whereas the current boundary district of Lanark-Frontenac is minus 4.43% of the proposal boundary district and the proposal boundary district is minus 5.84. An actual fact is the population deviation decreases by 1,640. And whereas the average population for the current Eastern Ontario electoral districts is 111,663, and the proposed Eastern Ontario electoral districts increases to 115,309 for an increase of 3646, or an increase of 3.25%. Now therefore be it resolved that the Township of Greater Madawaska strongly opposes the proposal of the Federal Electoral Boundaries Commission for the province of Ontario that would remove the Township of Greater Madawaska from the electoral district of Renfrew, Nipissing, Pembroke, and further that the Council of Greater Madawaska feels that the County of Renfrew and all its municipalities are best represented by one singular political voice as represented by the Member of Parliament for Renfrew, Nipissing, Pembroke. And furthermore, this motion be sent to all municipalities within the County of Renfrew. Well, now it'll open up to questions from council. Councillor Perrier.
So if we look at the process for public consultation, we submit a form by the 25th of September, correct?
That is correct.
Okay, so then when we go to the next page, it talks about the meeting being virtual on October 26th.
So there's various options. There are some in-person ones.
Yeah.
So it's just to decide where and when or how we would like to participate. So
That's how we present our case.
yes.
Okay, I'm good, thanks.
So, and on that point, Allison did mention that I have reached out to Cheryl Gallant, and she's trying to set up a meeting now with Scott Reed, who is the MP for Lanark Frontenac Kingston. And so our hope is to meet with those two. Now, the week that they chose, Allison may or may not be available. If she's not, I would be reaching out to some other member of council to join me in that meeting. But we hope that at the meeting, I think it's the week of the 12th of September, that we're able to formulate a plan with them. Apparently, Scott is very learned on this subject, so that we hope that he could shed some light on it for us. Anything further from council? Okay, all in favor of the motion presented, or would you like me to read it again? All in favor? Carried. Okay. Okay, the next item is Municipal Disaster Recovery Program. So I'll read the motion, get it on the table, and turn it over to Renee. Moved by Councillor McPherson, seconded by Councillor Frost. Be it resolved, the council direct the treasurer, deputy CAO to apply for municipal disaster recovery assistance from the province, that the following resolution be sent to the Minister of Municipal Affairs and Housing. Whereas the Corporation of the Township of Greater Madawaska recently experienced a derecho, a storm, which caused mass numbers of felled trees and debris to block roads and destroy electrical and communication networks throughout the municipality on May 21st, 2022, and has experienced incremental operating and capital costs, the Council of the Corporation of the Township of Greater Madawaska hereby requests the Minister of Municipal Affairs and Housing to activate the Municipal Disaster Recovery Assistance Program. Furthermore, that the Treasurer Deputy CEO is given delegated authority to submit, verify, and attest to the accuracy of the claim when submitted. Renee.
Yes, so in order to activate the Municipal Disaster Recovery Assistance Program, there are two requirements. One is to meet the 3% of the municipality's own purpose taxation levy, which for us, it would be $98,000. This has been met as we have incurred $130,000 to date, and we still require some works to be completed. The other requirement is for council to pass a resolution for us to submit an application for funding. And this is what I'm asking for council to approve today. This would allow us to receive funding from the province as demonstrated in the financial implications section, where up to 3% would be 75% funded, and exceeding the 3%, 95% funded through the province.
And what percentage are we at?
We have exceeded,
Exceeded the 3?
Yes, the 3% was $98,000.
Okay.
I have confirmed with the ministry that they were using the FIRs, or the financial information return for 2020, to develop this amount. Therefore, it's at $98,000. We have incurred to date $130,000.
So we'd be falling into the 95.5.
That is correct.
Thank you. Questions of council? Councillor McPherson.
Yeah, I didn't quite catch that, Renee, in terms of eligibility. Assuming our application was accepted, are we eligible for financing or funding for the entire amount, or just the amount that's over the 3%? Exactly what are we eligible for? Would we be eligible for?
So we would be receiving 75% funding up to the 98,000, which is the 3%. Exceeding that, we would receive 95% funding.
Okay. Yeah, and I think you said that, but I didn't quite follow exactly what you were saying. All right. So that would be certainly be good news to receive that, because obviously these funds have to come from somewhere, and if we don't get coverage for them, then it's money that we won't have available for other areas of concern within the municipality.
Thank you. Anything further? All in favor of the motion presented? And that's carried. Moved by Councillor McPherson, second by Councillor Frost. Be it resolved that the following bylaw, 58-2022 confirmatory, be deemed read a first, second, and final time and passed by council at the special council meeting held August 26, 2022. All in favor? Carried. Moved by Councillor McPherson, seconded by Councillor Frost. Be it resolved the special council meeting of August 26th be adjourned at 1:17 p.m. All in favor? Carried. Thank you.